that gave her the opportunity to spend more time on running this business and doing all these paintings and artwork. So I want to know from you guys as to, in her business, what were the four terms which I introduced right now? What were those elements? What was creativity in her business? What was venture? What was economic gain? What was risk? Does anyone want to attempt answering that? Yes, please go.
I guess the economic gains were the money she made off her company and
Right.
selling it off.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the answer? I can't hear.
Okay, so he said that the economic gain was the money which she made off after selling her business. Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
I guess the venture could be when she started when she sold her first painting and started that art gallery.
Okay, yes, so that's a venture. That's when she created a business. So her venture was an art gallery here. Yes, she started selling one painting at the age of 8, and she did an art show at 10. But it became really a full-blown venture when she started an art gallery. Well, she completely dipped herself into entrepreneurship. Go ahead.
Creativity would probably be when she decided she was going to make paintings for like money and stuff.
Right. So creativity is her the way she paints was creative. Her skill of painting was the creativity which she brought to the table. Because you can bring creative ideas to the table, you can bring creative content to the table. So you can make YouTube videos, that's creative work as well, if it's an interesting video. Or you can make paintings, that's like creating creative content. Or you could do creative ideas. By creative ideas, I mean doing some new product or new service which has not been done before. Okay, you want to say something?
Maybe the risk was that she was diagnosed with cancer.
Okay, so that wasn't not the risk of her entrepreneurship. The risk, okay, so there's a good point here that she was dying of cancer, but that does not count as a risk. That is actually something which enabled her. It was an enabler. It enabled her to put her time and energy, because she was limited to home, on creating all these paintings, which she wouldn't have been able to do if she was always busy and going to regular school and going through all her daily routines. So that gave her more time.
Maybe one risk could be an opportunity risk, where once she started these paintings at 14, so a relatively young age, so she would not have the opportunity to do other things that she may have been interested in, such as maybe pursue a different type of career.
Yeah, exactly. And that's always a big point. When you pursue a certain thing, you are not pursuing something else in that time. And as she said, let's say if her art gallery had bombed and if she had used so much time on the art itself, so that poses a little bit of risk as to what she would have done at that point in time. So these are the four elements, but she got a lot of returns for her risk. She took the risk and she made a lot of money on her risk. Okay, a question for you. Is anyone here amongst the student population already an entrepreneur?
I think I might be because I program Scratch projects.
Okay, do you sell something and make money off it?
No.
Okay, so right now you're in your skill development and creative phase. You're learning the skills and you're building stuff. At some point in time, you would want to monetize it. And when you monetize it, that's when we can say you're an entrepreneur. Okay, go ahead.
Maybe I am, because I pet sit and then I make money off the pet sitting, and I make more money than I for babysitting my dogs.
Okay, you're doing a pet sitting job, right? So it's more like a job right now for you. If you started a pet sitting business where you would employ multiple people, we have a business as well. Very good, very good. Yeah. That's awesome. So here we go. We have an entrepreneur here.
Maybe I make Android games, but I don't exactly sell them for money. But
Okay, perfect. So again, he is using his skills to build products. He's not monetizing them yet. He's not selling them yet, or maybe he just likes to create them and share it with his friends. But at some point in time, he could potentially start monetizing them. So that's when he'll become an entrepreneur, when he starts monetizing them. Okay? Anyone else? Okay, here we go.
When you sell lemonade out on the
Yes, that is an entrepreneurship project. That's a small one, but it's an entrepreneurship. When you make lemonades and go sell on a lemonade stand, that's a business. You used your time and energy to come up with those lemonades, and you start selling them. Some people would reject your lemonade, but that's fine. That's your risk over there, a feeling of rejection. Nobody's buying my lemonade, or the time you invested in creating those lemonades. So yes, a small entrepreneurial project. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I sometimes make games and I don't sell them, but they're just for fun and I can't just spoil my way through looking at the computer screen.
Okay. So what kind of games do you make? Do you make Android games, or what kind of games do you make?
Like classic games.
Classic games. Are these computer games?
Yeah.
Perfect. Good. So once you start selling them, you will be an entrepreneur. So a lot of people have already done their homework. They are already on the path of becoming an entrepreneur. So I will teach you eventually how to sell all those things which you guys are making. So that's the next step. Okay. So why do we want to be an entrepreneur? What do we want in life? Why are we sitting here? Why are we not playing basketball right now? Right? It's good weather outside. But we're trying to learn something here about entrepreneurship. And, there are a lot of philosophies about it. A lot of religion says different things. But we're just going to talk about some of the scientific work in psychology. And we're going to talk about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This guy called Maslow who proposed this a long time ago. And the lowest most thing is your most basic needs. And the stuff at the top, you aspire for them only when the lowest needs are met. So the lowest needs are physiological safety, love and belonging. So you want to be well fed, take care of your body and whatever your body needs. Safety, of course. You don't want to feel threatened. You don't want to feel a leopard is going to attack you. And thankfully, in today's day and age, that is not a problem. And America is a reasonably safe country to live in. So you're taken care of in that department. And you want to feel loved, belonging to a community, loved by your parents, loved by your family. And after that, once you have all those needs met, you're looking for something more. If you have all the three needs met, you still do not just want to, sleep and watch TV, right? You still want to do something. You wake up every day, you want to achieve something. And that comes from these two needs of esteem and self-actualization. So the reason you get up in the morning to do something has a lot to do with the top two ideas. And the top two ideas are, you want to achieve something, you want to feel confident in life, you want to have respect of others in the community. All these gives you a very good feeling. All these fulfill an important need of living as a human being. And how does entrepreneurship help you? Entrepreneurship helps you in two ways. And those are listed over there. One is wealth, of course. When you can make money, you feel good, you feel confident, you feel a sense of achievement. You also garner the respect of others if you obtain that money using ethical ways. as an ethical entrepreneur, and we'll more get into ethics and all that as well. And even more important result of entrepreneurship is that the quality and impact of your work can give you all these three things. It can give you a feeling of achievement, it can give you a feeling of confidence, and will also garner respect from others, right? For example, Elon Musk. Has anyone heard of Mr. Musk here? Couple people. Okay, of course the grown-ups, but the kids, okay. So Elon Musk is like a serial entrepreneur. He churns, one company after the other. And he's like, he'll go all guns. Whatever money he makes off the previous venture, he'll put it all in the next venture. So right now, people know Tesla cars here? Tesla? Kids?
I do.
Okay, a lot of kids know about Tesla cars, right? So Tesla is a company which Elon Musk founded, right? So Elon Musk is very respected, and he's not respected because he's rich per se, not because of the wealth part of it. He's respected because of the quality and impact of his work. He's making phenomenal products, and he's running phenomenal companies. So that's where the quality and impact of your work can give you so much esteem that being an entrepreneur is so much worth your while. And I'm not saying that you cannot get all these from some other jobs or some other careers, but entrepreneurship has plenty of room for you to achieve these three things listed. And self-actualization, that's one of the highest needs of human being. And what is involved there is creativity and problem solving. If you have everything, if you have the respect of others, if you have a lot of wealth, if you have everything in the bottom four areas, you still feel that you want something else. You know what that is? It's the joy of solving problems and joy of creating something, creative ideas, creative content. Maybe for no financial gain sometimes. You just want to create, right? So entrepreneurship also gives you the opportunity to do that, because you need creative thinking to come up with creative products and services, and problem solving. A lot of entrepreneurs solve problems for businesses, consumers, and society. Okay, so all right, so now I am with some more familiar faces, and probably you guys recognize these guys more than the previous example I gave. How many of you, or can somebody volunteer to name all the four groups of people? There's one guy on the top left, a couple of guys on top right, a guy on bottom left, and a couple on bottom right. Can someone name them? Okay, there's a guy. Okay, so let me do this. Let me give someone an opportunity as well, somebody who hasn't taken the opportunity. And if nobody volunteers, then I'll come back to you. Sounds fair? Okay. You want to try?
I only know the bottom left, and it's Steve Jobs.
Okay. One correct answer. Okay.
Okay, so the top left is Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
And then on the right, I think I know one of those guys. I think his name is Larry Page.
Yeah.
I forgot who the other guy is, but they both are the founders of Google.
Okay, so we still have the bottom right not answered. Anyone knows bottom right? One hint. There's a bias, I have that picture. Okay, it's a hard question then. So the bottom right, they were a couple who founded Cisco. Sandy Lerner and Leo. They were, I think at that time, when they were at Stanford, they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and they used to be in different labs. And these two labs did not have technology to communicate with each other. And the myth goes is that they wanted to communicate with each other, so they built something called a router. And that was the first ever router which was built, which is, everybody has a router at home now, but that was the first router built at Stanford, and which was eventually the foundation of Cisco Systems, which is a Silicon Valley company. Yes.
The other guy in the photo is Sergey Brin.
Yes. So yeah, the name was not taken. The other guy is Sergey Brin. That's right. So top left, Zuckerberg, Facebook's founder, Larry and Sergey, Google's founder, Steve Jobs, and Sandy and Leo. So the reason I have this slide up is first we talked about why we do what we do and why we want to do entrepreneurship. But I want to also talk about what's the advantage for the society as a whole. Why do you choose to become an entrepreneur? For your own reasons, but it has a lot of impact in the society. And you can see, first one is that you're solving society's problems, right? So what problem did Zuckerberg solve? Anyone? Yes.
Communicating online and like posting about stuff and like getting advice.
Right, social connectivity. Yes, posting about stuff, connecting with people, finding lost friends, anything to do with people, how to connect with people, right? And what was the first problem? So the top right guys solved a lot of problems, and they're solving more and more. What was the first problem the top right guys solved, the Google guys? Hang on, I think he has not answered.
Being able to get information more easily.
Yes. So being able to search for information more easily, eventually you get that information. Excellent answer. Yes. So that was the first problem they solved. They built a very sophisticated search engine with very simple interface, but very good algorithms which run in the back to give you wonderful results. Yes. Smart ads that stalk you. Okay, so you are a burner. You were burned by some ads. So Google has a way you can. Google makes money by advertising. Google does not charge you for searching anything, right? Everybody knows that. But Google makes money by advertising. So they have what you call a sponsored advertising section. It's used by, there's a terminology called Google AdWords. If you started a company today and you wanted to make sure that your company popped up when somebody searched for a service like yours, there are two ways you can do that. And the two ways are, in Google, the two ways are that you can optimize your web page so that the sophisticated algorithm created by these guys could point your result as one of the top results. Or you pay Google money. You pay Google so that when you search, in a separate section on the top, you will see a sponsored search result. And that's how Google makes money. Most of the advertising revenue comes from there. And then Google uses that money to do wonderful things like Google cars and driverless cars and Google Glass and whatnot. So, and I already spoke about the Cisco guy, what they ended up doing. So Cisco guys built a router, and without the routers and the switches, you just cannot send internet messages to each other. You cannot send a Facebook message to your friend or a Facebook post. You cannot do anything. The internet connectivity is started by these guys. Now, a lot of companies make switches and routers, but they provide the plumbing to the internet. And we were talking about the society's problems being solved. I also want to talk about what other things entrepreneurs do. So they create jobs, right? Let's say if nobody wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? And everybody wanted to work as in a job. Will there be any jobs?
No.
Nobody's creating them, right? Somebody has to create the jobs, right? So for example, if you say that a country wants to be very successful, so it's going to teach very specific job skills to all the kids, but it doesn't teach them to start companies and create products and make money like that. That's not a good strategy. You have to teach your kids to start companies too, because without the companies there will be no jobs. And vice versa, if everybody just wants to start a company, nobody wants to get a job, then you will have a company, but you're the only employee in that company because nobody wants to work for you. Everybody wants to start their own company. So there's a sweet balance between jobs and entrepreneurship, and that's where you get jobs as well as companies. And what happens when jobs are created? You have less unemployment. Less unemployment means good quality of life for all the people in that country, in that region. Less crime. When there is, a lot of jobs, and when there is money for everyone, there are less crimes happening, and money is circulated in the economy, and it leads to overall prosperity. And that's because when money circulates, what happens is it's a circular thing. Everybody gets a little bit more money in their hands with which they can buy more stuff. Right? So they go and spend that money, try to buy more stuff, which means there's a demand for more stuff, which means you need to create more stuff to supply them, where you can be an entrepreneur and start a product so they can start supplying them. It's like a positive feedback loop. And if you remember, what happens in a recession? Everybody's scared. Everybody thinks, oh, things are bad. Let's not spend any money, right? When people don't spend money, then no money is getting circulated in the market. No money circulated in the market, which means all these companies and entrepreneurs are thinking, what's the point of making all these products when nobody's buying them? It goes into a negative feedback loop. That's why you need a positive outlook and optimism to have a feeling of overall prosperity. So these are the positives what entrepreneurship brings to society. And this slide is there because people who just don't want to do it for the money or for their own fame or for their... some people are very, very moved by how they can impact the society. And there's a good motivation if you want to be an entrepreneur, want to influence society. Here you go. Now we come to creativity. So after all that background, creativity is thinking differently by using imagination, and solving problems by using that creative thinking, or producing new creative content, and asking a lot of what-if questions. So if somebody says, give me a new creative idea, right? And they give you a product and say, what can you do with this? Do you have any creative ideas which can go with it? So you ask what-if questions. What if I add this on top of this? What if I substitute this with this? What if I combine this and this? What if I modify this, magnify this, and stuff like that? So that's where you start generating your new ideas, and asking those what if questions is very important. And here's another interesting point I want to make. Everyone can be creative. Creativity is there in everyone, and it's a skill which can be learned easily. So, don't believe anyone who says, oh, you're not creative, oh, you're good logic, you can solve mathematical problems, but you're not creative. It doesn't work like that. You can learn to be creative. And I'm going to talk about how to learn to be creative. So, not everyone can, let's say, paint, let's say, for example, exactly like Leonardo da Vinci, but they can paint creatively in their own way. So everybody has their own creative abilities